It's 2015 again, and we are rewriting the Final Four at Homestead, Miami, and making Jeff Gordon a five-time champion of the NASCAR Cup Series in his final full-time Cup Series races. It's racing underway here from this Homestead, Miami Speedway, and it's Jeff Gordon versus Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, as well as Martin Truex Jr. Harvick trying to go back-to-back championships, while Truex and Busch both seek their first titles in the Cup Series. Of course, in real life, Kyle Busch did win the championship, and he leads the way into turn number 3 currently on this opening lap as Gordon 3 wide on the inside. We put his Exalta machine, unfortunately not the same as his final car IRL with the silver instead of the black base, but it is what it is there. Can we get Gordon through this field? We have to start from the back. We have 53 laps of racing to pull this off, and we're running on 3X for fuel and tire wear. So you're going to see about 3 pit stops basically as well in this race. You can basically pit around every 12 to 16 laps. That's kind of the ideal pit stop strategy here now, but you got to be really careful getting through the field here in NASCAR 15. Kyle Busch was battling for the lead with his brother of Kurt Busch there in the 41 car, and it would just be them kind of swapping back and forth in these opening laps. 4 wide with the 24 of Jeff Gordon. This is extremely risky in these opening moments. It's only lap 5, but we've been able to slice through up towards now a top 30 position, turning the brake bias down as far as it possibly can go right there to 43. As you can see, a bit of a moment there into turn 3. Chase Elliott slips up the inside. We're 4 wide again with Gordon on the exit of 4. A little bit of contact right there with the 25 and a bit of a door check as well. 32nd place right now as we come to lap 7. We had gotten up to P28 on the inside of Dillon and Smith. We passed them both up to P26 behind Jamie McMurray. You see the cluster of cars, and it's really about getting through this first run. If you can survive these first 15 laps of this race, things kind of start to sort itself out. I can already see 2 Final Four contenders. Larson with a bit of a moment right in front of us, and that stacked him up, and we ran into him, and we nearly crashed, but we save it and we keep going, but we lose multiple positions, and most importantly, some track time. If it goes green all race long, that is going to be crucial for the outcome of this championship fight, but it would get worse. Danica Patrick doing the same thing that Larson did, stomping on our nose, and another big hit there for her, but we save it again, but we lose 3 more positions, 4 more positions, and still, after just 9 complete laps, we're only in 29th after getting into the top 30 after like 5. Most importantly, we haven't crashed. We're still in this race. Gordon's drive for 5 is in fact still alive here now, as we nearly had a 3rd moment right there with the 25 of Chase Elliott, but we are in good shape. And now you can see things starting to get sorted out and pit stops kicking off. Like I said, lap 12 to 16 or so. Every 12 to 16 laps in a run, you're going to see that pit window, do its thing. And you can see at lap 13, a lap later, everybody just headed into the pit lane to the right side of Edwards. Contact there into the outside wall and doing some damage. That was kind of my fault there, trying to split the gap when I could have just went to the inside. But I would follow everybody into the pit lane. Kyle Busch pits from the championship lead and the lead overall of the race, barely getting down to the speed of the pits, but we go big on the adjustments, down 2 clicks on the wedge, up 2 clicks on the track bar, as well as adding a left rubber to the car to try and just get this thing overall to turn more. That cost us a lot of time, as hello Kyle Larson again in the number 42 target machine, but doing all those adjustments, it actually cost you time in the NASCAR Utechnik series games, as Larson's still having issues back there, and now we're having a really ugly rejoin now, so we've lost some ground, not only on the stop but just on the rejoin as well. We lost about 5 seconds or so compared to a normal pit stop time with all the adjustments and whatnot that we made, so we were down to 35th place, but the difference was the car was now driving good. The car didn't really drive well on the first run. However, there is one more adjustment needed, and that was we need to add a right rubber as well to the car to get this thing really driving the way we need it to drive. Now, migrating up to the outside where we can find the most speed, but we got to navigate this traffic all over again because we're down in 33rd, 32nd place as Kyle Busch continues to lead in that 18. So if it stays green all race long, which it has for the first nearly half of the race already, it's really just using that 18 as a reference point on, if we're gaining or losing, and he is currently now now fighting not with his brother of Kurt Busch, but with his teammate of Matt Kenseth, as we have now worked our way up to 27th place. And you can see pit stops again, 12 laps later after lap 12. Chase Elliott's coming in, but we cross the stripe, and Kyle Busch is in the middle of turn 1 and 2. So that's the reference point right now to see if we're going to be gaining, as these laps go on. But we were already closing in on the second pit stop of the day, but passing Kevin Harvick, our first pass on a Championship 4 contender. Harvick might be pitting right here. No, yes, maybe? No, he was not. He stays on the track, but we get the job done because a bunch of cars barrel it off into the pits. Our second Final Four pass potentially right here. Martin Truex Jr. up the inside of him into turn 3, but I was looking at maybe pitting right here, lap 27. So, about a similar amount of time after the first pit stop. So we're going to come in. Kyle Busch again in as well. So here we go, trying to get it slowed down. Very close there, but 4 tires again. But we're going to add that right rubber now, just like we added the left rubber earlier. So we're going to lose a bit of time again, because it's 18 seconds instead of about 15. So we do give up a little bit of time, but it wasn't too drastic compared to the first pit stop. And we actually get a good exit as well. So we can focus in on, trying to move forward here. We do have one more pit stop remaining in this race, and I'm eyeing about lap 40 for that final pit stop. That would give us, 13 full laps of running after the, warm-up lap. Kyle Busch out in front, across the stripe, and you can already tell we have been closing in on the 18. I think we have, at this point, with all the adjustments that we have made, I think we have the fastest car on the racetrack here in Miami. But the question is, if it stays green, is there enough time to run down Kyle Busch? We're up to 16th, going for 15th there, passing Denny Hamlin. But like I said, do we have enough time? As lap 31, Hamlin on these fresh tires after pitting quite late is putting some pressure on me. We're running down the 31 of Ryan Newman as well. Hamlin, of course, not going to make it easy. We're second in the Final Four. Kyle Busch way out in front as we continue to put some pressure on these cars in front of us now. But we were continuing to close in. Now to the outside of the 31, we're 3 wide with Newman and Hamlin. They're both going to check up on the exit of turn 2. Job done there, up into 14th place now at a turn 2, and we would continue to just run down everything in front of us up the inside, passing the 17 of Stenhouse, maybe getting a little bit physical right there, but we would continue on to now run down this group of cars in front of us. Brad Keselowski, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Clint Boyer. This is the pack of cars that is really going to determine if we have a chance to run down Kyle Busch or not, because this is a big group of cars that are right here together. Look at this, out of turn 4 to the outside of the 88 to the back of the 47. As we come to the start finish, where's the 18? He's only now entering turn 1 when we were coming to the start finish. Exiting turn 2, you can see we're about half a straightaway behind the 18 of Kyle Busch. The gap is continuing to decrease. We are continuing to move forward. The pressure isn't quite on the 18 yet, because when he exits turn 2, I'm in the middle of 1 and 2. So there's still, a half corner, half straightaway, like I said, difference basically between us here. But I took my time, and we managed to get through this group of cars without too much issue. Side by side with Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch's brother, who's fighting for a championship. Contact into turn 1. We nearly have a big accident. We save it. We keep it off the wall. We continue on, but surely that's cost us some time. 3.9 seconds the gap to Kyle Busch now, as we're going to be coming into the pit lane here on the exit of turn 4. Am I just now realizing the time to the leader was always there and we didn't need a reference point after all? We pit a lap or so earlier than Kyle Busch. It's 4 tires for the final time today. The final pit stop, the money stop. This is going to be our quickest pit stop as well, because we're not making any adjustments. So it's going to be about 15 seconds. As you can hear the team, listen to those lug nuts. There you go. They were going onto the car, and we continue back onto the track here from Miami. The chase is on. The drive for 5. It is proven to still be alive, and it has stayed green flag all race long. Kyle Busch was just now pitting on the exit of turn 4 as we're entering the racetrack. So here we go. What's going to happen? We exit in front of Matt Kenseth, who was battling with Kyle Busch. This is huge, as we would come around one more time. Where was Kyle Busch going to cycle out in front of us? There you see him up ahead. We're going to pass Vickers and Biffle, and this will put us into a net P2. Kyle Busch right there entering turn 3 right now. It's going to be 10 laps to determine who's going to win the Cup Series Championship as we try to rewrite history from 2015 and send out Jeff Gordon as a 5-time champion, but it's not going to be easy. The pit cycle is complete. 1.7 seconds the gap, and Brian Vickers, however, is going to to put some pressure on a former teammate of Jeff Gordon here in these closing laps, so it's not going to be easy because Vickers wants to go and fight for that second position, and the battle would commence here. Now, as you can see, side by side through 1 and 2, down the back straightaway, and the gap to Kyle Busch about 1.5 seconds at this point. We are gaining on that number 18 machine, but not quite as quick as I would like to be, but we would clear the 55 on the exit of turn 4, and now look at the gap, 1.3 down to 1.2 as we continue down this back straightaway. Lap 46, now I see it 1.1, the high 1.1s that is. A lap car right in front of us, however, that's Michael Annette. The gap, though, down to 1 second here as we come through down this back straightaway, splitting through the 2 lap cars now of the 46 and the 23 of Annette, as well as JJ Yaley up there. It's Ty Dillon in the way of Kyle Busch. How is this going to play a role now? Busch on the inside, myself on the top. The gap stabilizes this time, stays at about 0.8 of a second, and it would decrease ever so slightly to 7.5 or so tenths of a second, now into the 0.6 range. In these closing laps, the pressure is officially on to Kyle Busch. Jeff Gordon, our 24 car, on the move, 0.6 it stays as we come to lap 49, just trying to get as close as we can to that outside wall, build up the momentum, and of course don't hit the wall. If we hit the wall once, it's going to be game over. Kyle Busch got past the 33 of Ty Dillon. He was looking to the outside of the 95 of Michael McDowell. Half a second, the difference, contact with the 33. That's how hard I was pushing to get to the outside here. We clear him, and now he finds back to the inside, not making it easy. Still half a second to Kyle Busch now, but the run out of turn 2's there. We have the draft from the 95, 0.4 into turn 3 as we approach just 3 laps to go. No pressure from behind. Vickers nearly 2 seconds back, and we clear the 95. There's no cars between myself and Kyle Busch. 3 laps to go for the championship in Miami, and we are here 0.2 of a second the gap. Look how much deeper we can drive into the corner, nearly into the wall, however, so we have to lift and follow him down the back into turn 3, trying to lunge in deep again. Coming to 2 to go. There's going to be a lap car. David Gilliland in the mix as well, but we get the run on the exit of turn 4. Here we go. This is the opportunity we've been waiting for, to the back of Kyle Busch with 2 laps remaining in Miami. He takes the bottom, we take the top. Now run it right around that seam, dip into the shadow close to that wall, and we are side by side for the lead of the race and the championship out of turn 2. We are clear for the championship lead with a lap and a half remaining. What is David Gilliland going to do? How is he going to play a role in this? He plants it on the inside. That's the lane that Busch wants. We want the top to stay open. Busch gets back to our left rear quarter panel as we exit the corner. White flag in the air. Who's going to get back to the stripe first? Gilliland. We're going to have to look to the inside into turn 1. We haven't ran down here in a while. Busch is going to run up a lane. We're right to the left rear, drifting up the track. Nearly contact with the 38. Busch checks up as well. He tried to go around the top. That might be it. It might be game over. David Gilliland is a dingus. I brake check him down the back straightaway to let him know how stupid he is as we go into turn 3. Once again to the top. Busch tries to fight, but he checks up instead, trying to race with Gilliland out of turn 4. History is rewritten. Jeff Gordon, a 5-time champion, as he makes the pass for the championship in the last 2 laps of the race. Unbelievable here in Homestead, Miami. We pull it off. Gordon, in the history rewritten, is going to be the 2015 champion. Kyle Busch led 38 laps. The other 2 Final Four drivers 14th and 15th. That's going to do it for me. History rewritten in 2015. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.